In the book, you also have a story about Japan Airlines that really is reiterating these same things. And a major component of your book is highlighting three practices: noticing, affirming, and needing. And this is something John Bacon did, and it's something that Japan Airlines did. And it reminded me, I worked for a global construction company called Lendlease. And one of the things that reminded me of the Japan Airlines story is they had this huge imperative focus on safety. And
Mm,
safety really showed up by the way that they had their leaders go out and evaluate the projects that they were working on to make it as safe as humanly possible for the workers who were there. And one of the big things that Lendlease did was they really involved the employees to help educate the leaders on how they could make a work site run more safely. And it reminded me of what Japan Airlines did as well in their safety procedures. But it all comes down to the three fundamental things that your book really concentrates on.
yeah, I mean, I think that first part, right, of noticing people is important. They have to feel seen and heard. I think that's what John Bacon did really well, is he came to see them. I worked with that distribution center where they were all very disengaged except for one team, and I love outliers. And I went to the team and I just said, "Hey, what's going on here?" And they all said, "Oh, it's our supervisor. She just gets us. We do anything for her." And I asked her, I said, "What do you do?" And she had this notebook, I mean, that I write about because I was just astounded by this practice. She had this notebook that on Friday, she writes down each of her team members' names and one thing she heard them talk about, complain about, one thing that they were struggling with. And on Monday morning, she looks at that list of names and looks at what she wrote down and schedules a 3-minute check in with each of them and said, "Hey, I remembered last week that you were struggling with this. How's it going?" And I remember she looked at me, she goes, "There's magic in being remembered." The reason why I love that story is because it was a practice. That's what she did. And that's what contributed to the engagement. You flash forward to the Japan Airlines story. And the Japan Airlines story is a couple years ago. There was a Japan Airlines plane. It was about to touch down on the runway and it burst into flames. It hit a Coast Guard other plane on that runway. It burst into flames. It was a very large plane and it was like a textbook evacuation. Everybody survived. And one pilot that was when talking about this said he's not really surprised that this was Japan Airlines because in 1985, one of the most deadly disasters in air travel history happened with a Japan Airlines flight. And the executives at Japan Airlines in the 90s wanted to make sure nobody forgot about this. So what they did is they created a place in their headquarters that had pictures of all the passengers, all the crew members, and stories of their lives. And they invited all of the employees to go through and look at how the safety procedures mattered through hearing these stories and how they mattered. And one of the pilots said those safety rules were written in the blood of people who came before us.
Wow.
But the organization invested in making sure nobody ever forgot of the significance. And that's making sure people feel affirmed, right? So making sure people see the difference that they make through what they're doing and never forget that, no matter what it is. And then that last one is making sure people feel needed, making sure people feel indispensable, irreplaceable to something bigger. But it all happens with interactions, and with the Japan Airlines story, it happens with investment. The organization made an investment to make sure nobody forgot that. And the result of that, hopefully they never need it, but the result of that motivation is that nobody ever forgot they're one of the safest airlines today.